OK, well, I'll tell you what, let's go straight back to Des and hear from Mikel Arteta.
Mikel, obviously that's a disappointing result. What did you make of the performance today?
Yeah, a really tough match. We knew that before we came in, especially with the circumstances of the match, with the new manager and the style of play they had, we knew it was going to be tough. I think we started the game pretty well and controlled the game. After 20 minutes, we started to lose a little bit some control and start to play a little bit the game that they want to play. We had loads of the ball, but we lacked that purpose and quality in the final third to generate many more chances. And after, on a set piece is what they do. You can see that, and then they slow the game down. They do that really well, and we were struggling to come back in the game.
Why weren't you able to cope with these balls into the box and the set pieces? They did cause you a lot of trouble throughout, didn't they?
They do to every team. That's their strength. When you see the height that they have in the team, the physicality is one of the main strengths. You want to beat against them, you have to control that aspect. And today we didn't do it. And then with the ball, when the way we progressed the ball into the final third, we have to create much more than what we've done today.
I saw you telling the players just to calm down a little bit. Were you looking for a bit more composure, being careful with the ball?
More composure and to control emotionally as well the game better, because if not you start to get in the game that they want to play. Everything is in and out with a lot of duels and into free kicks. We made so many free kicks in the last 10-12 minutes that are necessary because that's what they want, and we could have done things much better.
What's the mood in that dressing room right now?
What I told them, that today I love them much better than the week before, a month ago, 6 months ago. So it's easy to be next to someone that is winning and playing well. Is the moment now we have to be next to them because they deserve it, fully deserve it. And I'm so proud to coach these players.
Still top, still going to be plenty of twists and turns in the rest of the season.
This is not going to be a rose pathway, This is going to be tricky, difficult. You're going to have to react to disappointment. You're going to have to dig in, and we're going to have to play better than what we've done today, for sure.
Thanks very much, Mikel.
Thank you.
It's been a great start as far as Sean Dyche is concerned. Let's carry on the conversation we were having about Arsenal. Just their second defeat this season. It's something we need to keep in perspective, right? This is only their second defeat of the season.
Of course, and you're anxious with a young group. You don't want to go overboard, and that's 2 defeats now, isn't it? They lost against Man City in the FA Cup. I feel they've been quite outstanding. It's about how you now react to that, to disappointment. It's such a young group, so we look at the maturity, youngest group in the Premier League. But they are capable of bouncing back. But that was a lesson for them. But it's how they respond and learn from that lesson. I thought, though, that Everton locked in, particularly the Arsenal's 2 wide players today, Saka and Martinelli. And they couldn't get that little bit of magic that Rio was talking about. There were opportunities for Arsenal, but they didn't have that cutting edge today in the final third. And if you keep losing games, then obviously that creates a doubt. So quickly, Arteta will want to get back on that winning trail again against Brentford next time.
I think it's important, that point, reaction. How do you react? And I think when we played, it was you don't lose 2 games. Or to talk to young players to make them feel comfortable, even in this situation where you drop points, it's not the end of the world. You're still top of the league. You're still playing good football. We played some good football today. Just didn't have that cutting edge. So you've got to find positive somewhere in this performance today, even though it'd be difficult, to really maintain that momentum and confidence throughout the squad. You can't lose it through one result.
I don't think they will. The group of young players, the momentum that Arsenal have been on, they're almost like Teflon. They have ground out results. They've shown times in the season already where they've shown character, they've shown depth, they've showed character. And so as much as Martin said, they will learn from this today, how it felt, that emotional kind of reaction to it, what it kind of sounded like, what all the pictures looked like on the pitch, how they couldn't break them down, to analyse it, critique it. And I think Arsenal will almost be a better team because of this.
Spurs fans for tomorrow against Man City.
As usual.
What would you want at this point? Would you like the youthful exuberance that Arsenal have got? Or would you want the title-winning experience?
I wanted the experience. Yeah. I was a young player going into Manchester United. I needed the experience around me to help me through certain situations in the season where you drop points. And as much as I still think that Arsenal win the league, I'll be very, very, very kind of wary of Man City. We said before the game
this was a big obstacle, didn't we? We said it's a young Arsenal group that are striving, reaching, developing. There's still things they're learning, and that was a big learning curve. It's how they respond now.
Yeah, I don't think they're overachieving Arsenal. I think they are playing fantastic football. I think they're synchronised. They're applying all the sort of conundrums and the tactics that Mikel Arteta has created that brilliant environment that has allowed them to be kind of the best that they can be. So I think their top position is justified, and I still think that they will win the league. And as I said before the game, a win today for Everton could be a bigger kind of changing point in the season than a loss for Arsenal.
Pep and Man City will be smelling blood right now.
Oh, yeah.
For Everton by any stretch of the imagination. But I really liked that interview. I really like what James Tarkowski said because he simplified that view. I really like what James Tarkowski said because he simplified that there. He said that Everton haven't showed enough to take tactics away and the crosses. That's what Everton did. They came up against tactics away and the crosses. That's what Everton did. They came up against the direct opponent and they won pretty much every battle across the pitch. None more so than Mikalenko against Saka, who's one of Arsenal's best players. He went toe-to-toe with him today and was...
If you had to pick a man of the match, you'd be hard-pressed. And I suppose that in itself reflects what was an incredible team performance.
It was incredible right from the start. I mean, you have to feel sorry for Arsenal in many ways of the start. I mean, you have to feel sorry for Arsenal in many ways of your new belief, you know, get off to a good start, the performance is good and the crowd get behind them and it's very difficult to stop. So I feel for Arsenal from that point of view. They didn't play their normal good game, don't get me wrong, but Everton, you know, were a huge influence on that. But no, Everton were brilliant. And they've got some very good players. And we've sat here for weeks and weeks and weeks and, they're too good to be in that position. And they are. And we knew we were talking sense. We knew it. But until they go and prove it, then it's very difficult to keep, you know, singing. It's very difficult to keep, you know, singing players. And when, you know, obviously in the right frame of mind, when everyone pulls together players, and when, you know, obviously in the right frame of mind, when everyone pulls together.
Really important goal.
It was very good work all around from Everton. It was a goal made on the training pitch. It was a goal tweaked at half-time. Everton's game plan right from the first whistle was to try and put that ball really high around to the far post, allowing someone to attack it. But on both occasions, Saliba has defended it really well for Arsenal. But just after half-time, it was as if Doucouré was given just a little word in his ear. Go and just position yourself right behind Saliba. Make sure he can't back away and we'll get on the end of it. And that's all he did. He blocked Saliba in. You see, he can't back away into that position. James Tarkowski gets on the end of it, looks one way, heads at the other, right into the back of the goal. Exactly where Everton want. But made on the training pitch, tweaked at half-time. Brilliant management.
Yeah, and we saw Tarkowski there pointing to exactly where he wanted it. And I thought Doucouré did great because it wasn't a very obvious block. It was quite subtle. It wasn't one that the referee or the VAR are going to pull back and say, hang on a minute, you were so... Or the VAR are going to pull back and say, hang on a minute, you were so... Leon said it was perfectly executed. They had tried that all game, that back post ball, and eventually it paid off.
And as it happens, it was the first goal Arsenal have conceded from across this season, Leon. As it happens, it was the first goal Arsenal have conceded from across this season, Leon.
Yeah, I mean, despite the size of Arsenal's team, I don't well, and they've defended it well. But Everton, I mean, you saw the way Tarkowski just ran through Saka. He ran through Odegaard, the players that were trying to stop him and get in his way, because he had so much more desire than them. And I think that was across the board at Everton there. I do pick up what Mo said. It's a tough time for for Arsenal to come up against Everton in the mood they were today, because there weren't many teams that were going to stop Everton getting victory today on that performance.